unbelievably, magnificently conditioned for the fight.
And I think very focused, too.
And Miguel Cotto starts things off with a straight right hand against the southpaw stance of Zabdil Judah. Judah, by almost everybody's estimation, is quicker and has more hand speed. He says he also has more power. Cotto takes a little bit longer to make his mark in the fight. Ultimately, he focuses below the chest. Says Miguel Cotto is a C-class fighter. He's never faced somebody who is a superb boxer with power, and that's me.
Well, every time that Cotto makes a move right now, he takes a big step that almost like runs in the punch. And he's going to have to be a little careful with that. Right now, particularly while Zab is sharp. See there?
And he gets caught with a big left-hand counter punch shot.
Yeah,
and Zab believes that he hurt Cotto.
Yeah, that's what I said.
And he's going to go after him right away. And Cotto comes back, crashing with a left hook to the body, but he is hurt. He has definitely been wobbled by that early left-hand shot, and Judah's hand speed has made its mark in the fight already. But Cotto's been hurt before and has always fought back well. And now a low blow puts Judah on the canvas. And the way Zab is acting, it was a very effectively heavy low blow.
Much like the one he delivered to Mayweather.
Very corner. They got a 5-minute rest. All right, hey, shake it off. You're a professional. Work it or you want to rest?
The rules is you can't win a fight on a disqualification on a low blow because you should have proper protection underneath unless the referee, after a series of it, disqualifies.
It was unintentional action. Don't retaliate now. I'm telling you, don't retaliate. You want to go? You ready? Sure. Time in.
Gets 5 minutes, takes less than 2.
Cotto signals to him that it was an accident apologetically.
Cotto looks so much stronger in his punches, even though he misses a lot. He looks so much powerful, like a powerful bull throwing a punch at really a dog or something, a small animal. He's so much more stronger.
Yeah, but Cotto wasn't the one who was hurt by one big shot.
No.
Zab Judah landed the left hand that dominated this round. And you wonder how necessary it was for Cotto to get the breather necessitated by the low blow.
I don't believe that, Jim. I think he had recovered from that shot, and he was trying to throw some body punches, and it was an accidental shot.
Two jabs land for Cotto.
He has no history of doing that.
Entirely true. Out of 18 jabs. Judah, 16 out of 53, including 6 out of 34 jabs. Zab Judah started out with a good brisk pace, throwing 53 punches. One of his downfalls in some past fights has been a tendency not to throw as many punches as he should. Cotto usually fights at a measured pace. Between 50 and 60 is usually about the right number for him. Cotto seems devoted to trying to make his jab a factor early.
That's interesting, Jim, because Judah really, even though he's a boxer, doesn't really use his jab to set other things up. He tries to use his hand speed to make things happen.
That's a good point you pointed out. A lot of these guys, which people consider as boxers, they really don't jab that much. They usually just explode in flurries of punches.
Wait, step back. Keep it clean now.
Cotto has been working on trying to sweeping right hook uppercut type. Yeah, you can see him training a lot so he can anticipate where Zab's head is going to be when Zab bends to his left. I'm trying to catch him with one of those hook type uppercuts of his.
Combination by Cotto there. He's far more free-handed as a combination puncher once he gets going than Judah usually is.
And I'm surprised Zab hasn't thrown the punch that was so effective for him in the last round, the left uppercut counter shot.
must still be looking for the chance. Perhaps Cotto has made some subtle adjustment to momentarily take the punch away. But eventually Miguel will settle into simply trying to land that left hook to the body, his money punch. Right now, Cotto is boxing with Judah and doing a pretty good job of it. Puerto Rican crowd begins to chant for the man. Cotto momentarily switches southpaw, comes back to his normal stance.
Cotto's getting closer and closer, and the expression on Zab Judah's face is he's becoming very uncomfortable with the situation and the way that the fight is going. And as you said, Jim, it's interesting that Cotto's left jab is being more effective than Zab's jab.
There's the left hook to the body. First time he really rocked Judah with that punch.
But we cannot stay in one spot right there and not go punches back, because Cotto's going to keep doing that over and over and over.
Miguel Cotto is starting to make his punches count.
Zab has got to fire something back. He's not shooting. There's a lot of, there it is, a lot of opportunities for him to shoot the left hand, but he's not shooting.
Cotto in his tracks momentarily stunned him with a straight left counter punch.
He could do that more often if he would throw the punch, because Cotto is wide open for the left hand, and the speed of Zab is right there, but he just is not punching enough.
This time Cotto ducks the left hand and gets in a couple body shots. Zab Judah has twice raked Miguel Cotto with left hand shots in his game. Second round goes to Cotto on the Letterman card. Some of these rounds could be hard to score, at least until a pattern is more fully established.
And it's interesting, Cotto has been hurt seriously in 2 rounds, but still has won those rounds.
I question how seriously he's been hurt. I think he was stunned, rocked. I don't think he was really hurt.
I think he was definitely more badly hurt in the first round than in the second. Now Arthur McCanty, I got it, is looking to see if Cotto hits Judah in the back, which was something that Uktai Urkal complained about in Puerto Rico in Cotto's last welterweight title defense.
Judah looks like he's looking for the perfect punch to throw, and so he's letting Cotto dominate the round by hoping for the perfect punch. But that was a perfect low blow.
Judah is in agony and would be well advised to take more time to recover this time.
Fam, shake it off. I'm giving you 5 minutes. Let's go.
There's blood on the chest of Cotto.
Jam, you got 5 minutes, Jam. Don't worry. Shake it off.
question then becomes, Emmanuel, that even if he can come back to fight, how does this affect him physically?
It's seriously going to affect him the same way when Trinidad landed that terrific left blow on Fernando Vargas. When Vargas had came back and it looked like it was winning the fight, and Vargas never did get back into the fight again.
Still trying to figure out where the blood is coming. It's on the chest of Cotto.
No, Cotto's got a bad cut in his left.
Yeah, I think it's coming from Cotto's mouth.
Yeah,
I think that one of those left hands from Judah has hurt Cotto in the mouth, and that's where the blood is coming from. And now Cotto seems to want to do damage right away. Both fighters feel a sense of urgency as round 3 continues. And again, Zab Judah didn't take as long as one might have expected to recover from a low blow from which he reacted in such excruciating pain.
But Cotto is wide open for a straight left hand through the center. I'm surprised that Zab Judah's not throwing more left hands through the center.
Break! Step back, that's it. That's fine.
Cotto seems to be putting on a show of forced composure
There it is again.
amid the blood flow.
That's it, fight, fellas.
Hard left hand inside by Judah. And another counter left hand by Judah. Cotto going back to the body, despite the danger of landing another low blow and getting penalized.
And that that sweeping right hand that he's been working on in training is the last thing that he needs to throw tonight, because he can start punching to the stomach, and by the time that Zab pushes his elbow down to block it, the punch will stray and go low.
For all his reputation of imploding.
There it is again. There it is again. Wide open for a straight shot from the left hand with his uppercuts off straight left.
Judah is getting a lot of opportunities to land his counter left hand.
That was not low.
That was not a low blow.
Judah may be trying to buy a penalty point at this point. Cotto,
Sympathetic figure here because he's been fouled.
and you heard Arthur McCanny Jr. tell Judah's corner that he had taken a point away from Cotto for the low blows. Harold, how do you have it scored in light of that?
Okay, Jim. 29-27, 2 rounds to 1. Zab Judah. Jim, he won the first round clearly. He hurt Miguel Cotto. Cotto stopped him with the low blow. Otherwise, you know, it would have been worse. The second round, Zab Judah stung him again, but Cotto won the first 2.5 minutes of the round. Cotto won the second round. The third round, I thought Zab won it again, and Arthur McCanty took away a point, so it became a 10-8 round. 29-27, Zab Judah.
And now as the blood spritzes from Cotto's mouth, obviously he's cut inside his mouth,
It's a
somewhere on
bad,
the lip.
I think it's a bad gash in his lip. I think his lower left lip has a bad gash inside.
Meanwhile, Judah is bleeding outside his right eye.
I have the fight even, by the way, because I gave the last round to Cotto.
Cotto threw 85 punches in the second round.
Now there is a slight
very
cut
fast
on the
back.
left eye of Judah.
No, it's the right eye, Larry.
I'm sorry, the right eye. You're right,
Yeah.
Jim. And keep in mind,
Cotto's starting to do damage again.
that Judah usually does his best work in the first half of the fight.
And Cotto is starting faster than he normally does, probably because of the urgency he feels now due to the low blow penalty and the bleeding inside his mouth. Cotto switching southpaw to give himself a chance at more power punching opportunity.
It seems to be just physically so much stronger. It looks like the natural weight is almost about 10, 15 pounds more.
Cotto starting to drive forward and pull Judah around the ring with his wider, stronger body.
Yep, and all Zab has to do is throw more left-hand shots, whether it's an uppercut or straight left. Cotto's right there to be hit, but he's just not punching
What's
him.
that elbow, Zab?
Both fighters are looking from time to time at McCanty, but Judah is doing it more frequently.
The left jab.
Cotto's starting to make his point.
The most effective punch for Cotto himself has been his left jab. The cut must be very bad inside of his mouth.
Hard right hand by Judah. Momentarily stops Cotto's assault. Left hook to the body by Cotto and a combination upstairs. Relentless pressure from Miguel Cotto. Cotto out of the southpaw stance, trying to bomb away with the left hand.
Those kidney punches.
Cotto beating Judah to the punch as Zab looks for a counter opportunity. 9 out of 39 for Judah. This is one of the problems for Zab Judah in some of his big fights. The pressure builds, he throws fewer punches. When the pressure builds for Miguel Cotto, he tends to punch more, sometimes to the point of recklessness.
And right now, Cotto's left jab has been his most effective punch.
Let go, Zab. Let go. Oh, great. Stop moving.
As they wrestle momentarily, Judah seems to be looking over Cotto's shoulder to get advice from his father, Yoel Judah, in the corner. Cotto's not looking for any advice from anybody. He's trying to hammer away.
Let go. That's it. Good sportsmanship. Stop holding. Let go, Zab. Let go. Great.
Hard left hook by Cotto.
Cotto.
Switches back into his regular stance.
Cotto's doing exactly what he should do. Very physical, a lot of pressure.
Watch your head.
And Zab is starting to fold under it, I think, physically and mentally. Jab again. And that jab is hard. It's pumping out there just as if he was shooting the right hand.
You're looking at blood on both fighters. You're looking at physical warfare. You're looking at 2 fouls early in the fight. Jake LaMotta was at the Boxing Writers' Dinner last night here in New York. If there's a modern fighter that LaMotta could most appreciate, it's got to be Miguel Cotto.
Yeah, that was Miguel didn't do anything illegal, I thought, for the most part. Zab was holding on.
Cotto just swamping Judah with activity. Not necessarily landing shots cleanly, but throwing.
Jab again. That's because he's watching Cotto's right hand all the time, and he's never watching the left jab is doing most of the damage.
One of the questions that was raised before the fight was, would Judah be able to hurt Cotto with one of those clean shots? Hurt him really badly, and so far he hasn't shown that kind of power.
I like your phrase, he did stun him, but it was a serious stun, and if he had followed up more, I think he could have really seriously hurt him.
Judah's starting to bleed from the nose, and Cotto's starting to focus more of his attack upstairs to take advantage of it. There's a shot at that big counter left with which Judah has scored so much. He took 2 tries toward Zab. 15 jabs and landed 46. That's 40%. Judah's thrown 155 jabs, 40 more. Landed 20, 25 less. He's landing only 13% of them.
But the power of Cotto's jab is no comparison. He got a powerful sledgehammer type jab with his left hand in his hand. And Zab is not punching with the authority with his jab, even when he lands.
And that left hook zipped Cotto right on the cut. Cotto's trying to pretend that he's not bothered by that badly cut lip. There's no way it wouldn't bother you.
That's a bad cut. His cut is much worse than his cut.
But he has a cut now that looks on his mouth.
Yeah, from the eye to back to their side.
Cotto hugged Judah as if to say, hey, it's a bloody war in here. We're going to work through it together. Now Cotto begins to paw at the right eye as the blood flows.
Leave it alone.
I think that was a headbutt, too.
I think it was when he maybe hit him like on the break accidentally.
Watch that elbow, Sam.
I think the way Cotto deal with it just as a rough fight, so let's just deal with it the way it is and get in this fight.
Give it clean. Break, step back.
Cotto switches into that southpaw stance. He initiates the offense. Judah pops with the jab and gets away.
Watch your heads now. Again. Come on.
Cotto really hasn't yet established that body rhythm that would normally be the case against a conventional fighter. But he hurts Judah with the right hand.
I think he stunned him. He didn't have
Goes to work on the body.
He stunned him and then Zab kind of lost his balance.
Yeah, but he's wobbled a little bit.
Yeah.
It's the sledgehammer force of the shots. It's the commitment that Cotto makes to his punches.
This has turned out to be a tremendous fight.
Break. Suck it up.
Zab Judah's hand speed still superior, still very dangerous.
Just not enough. Just not enough of it. I think his skills are really superior to Cotto. Just Cotto's determination and continuous attack that he's been doing, and his physical strength just was carrying him through to the fight.
He just
And mental
never
strength.
stops fighting.
Yeah, and mental strength,
He
I should
just
say.
fights
And
through everything.
And he's winning the territorial battle because he's the one going forward.
Round 6, Cotto landing twice as many, 109 to 53. Harold, how do you have it halfway through?
Okay, Jim, 57-56, 4 rounds to 2, Miguel Cotto. Jim, I got him winning 3 rounds in a row. I mean, if it's momentum that's going to carry him, he's really going, he's really moving. I mean, he landed the cleaner, harder shots, relentless pressure, just staying on top of Zeb, and Zeb's not hitting him with that left hand that hurt Cotto like he did early in the fight. 4 rounds to 2, 57-56, Miguel Cotto.
I have it 5 rounds to 1 with the penalty point. That means in my scorecard, Cotto's ahead by 3 points.
Sam Judah starting to blink with the right eye as Miguel Cotto continues to bore in. Cotto being wary of that Judah left hand as he searches for shots. Cotto's corner's done a pretty good job with the cut under the lip and now the cut above the brow on the right side. Doesn't mean the blood isn't flowing, just that it isn't occupying his train of thought at this very moment. Cotto dipping under Judah as he looks to get to the body. Judah trying to rip him with the uppercut. Sam Judah's faster hands still quite apparent.
It's a big factor in this fight, whenever he throws punches.
Amazing how Cotto trusts his base and will go all the way down to a limbo squat. Ripping Judah with a left hook upstairs. And the blood starting to flow above Judah's right eye. Judah rips Cotto with a left-hand shot. Catches him with a right. Cotto backs into the ropes. Sam Judah had a momentary opportunity there.
And Cotto seems to be the one anxious to get out of the clinch to get back to Judah right away.
This is Judah's best round since the first, showing the result of better conditioning.
Cotto with a body shot. Judah retaliates with a body blow of his own. Blood now flowing underneath Cotto's chin again. Hammering Judah with a left hook. Very rough physical fight. Miguel Cotto resurfaces one more time.
Consistency.
Trying to steal the... Much of this crowd staying on its feet all the way through. You heard Larry Merchant say that was Judah's best round since the first, but in the end, Harold Letterman gave it to Cotto again.
It's just a fight that whenever Zab does explode, he's very effective. It's just that the consistency of Cotto is the biggest factor I can see in this fight. He consistently fights at a steady pace, steady pressure all the time.
Yeah, Zab Judah's father is begging him at times to throw more punches. You don't have to ask Cotto to throw more punches. Come on, fellas. That's what he does.
Judah does have a history in these fights of fading late in the fight. Let's see if he can sustain what he started in the last round.
But he knocked out Corey Spinks late, and that's the performance he points to as the benchmark for what he's expecting to do tonight.
I've seen Corey Spinks. He's no Judah. I'm sorry, no Cotto.
Miguel Cotto. Combination upstairs by Cotto. Judah fires the jab. 1, 2, 3, 4 jabs.
Both of these on the head. Watch him.
Left uppercut.
Judah spending most of this round trying to get away.
Systematically, Cotto is breaking him down.
Judah showing some moxie here. Can he keep it going?
Another left hook by Cotto. And he continues to crash away at Judah and gets the blood to flow from Judah's right eye again. Left, right, left.
they develop.
All of Cotto's past difficulties have taken place early in fights. We're into Cotto time now. From rounds 9 and 10 on, he's been brutal and relentless, including his 11th round knockout of Urkel in his last appearance. You heard Yoel Judah begging his son to fire up emotionally and fight harder. In the 8th round, by CompuBox count, Miguel Cotto landed 31 power shots to only 6 for Zab Judah. And more strikingly, Judah only threw 32 punches. He needs to throw more. It's Cotto who keeps throwing. Cotto switching stances constantly now through the last few rounds. Either way, he fires with both hands.
Yeah, there's too much pressure right now. For the most part, Zab is pretty much done right now.
Zab Judah's right eye is beginning to swell badly, and he's starting to look unsteady on his feet.
Knowing that everything is wrong, he's not going to win a decision. He should at least try to let everything go in for one of those powerful left hand shots.
Let go of his hands.
There's nothing to lose at this stage.
Much of the crowd standing as Cotto continues the vicious assault. Arthur McCanny watching closely. Judah goes to a knee.
I think that was a good call on Zab's part. It was a good call. Not any one punch, it's just too much. He needs a break, but it's over with.
How long is it from here to a knockout?
Like waving a red flag in front of an angry bull. Judah has now shown Cotto his vulnerability. As if Miguel needed any further evidence of his dominance at this moment. Now he's going to try to whip his man. Hard left hand by Judah. A momentary comeback down the stretch.
Up to his knees.
Power shots in the 9th round. Judah landing 13 out of 21. He can still be accurate. Cotto 34 out of 61. A relentless, non-stop assault. Harold Letterman, how do you have it coming to the final 3?
Okay, Jim, 87, 82, 7 rounds to 2, Miguel Cotto. And he got that point back in round 9 when he dropped Zab that he lost in round 3 when Arthur McCanty took away a point for a low blow. Anyway, Miguel Cotto, relentless pressure, winning 6 rounds in a row. Oh, my God, it just keeps coming. Zab Judah dropped to one knee because he couldn't see out of that right eye. 7-2, Cotto.
I have the same score.
It was a gutty show for Judah to fire those 2 big left hands in the closing seconds of the last round. Now we'll see if he can build something off of it in the 10th. And he's trying.
Yeah, even though he hasn't never seriously hurt Cotto too bad, Zab still has the ability. It wouldn't surprise me, but it won't hardly have ever to hurt Cotto and even knock him down, or possibly out. Because he still has got fast hands when he does punch. He just isn't punching enough.
But he's not a big puncher, Emmanuel.
No, but the fact that Cotto get caught that he doesn't see it because he's so occupied on being aggressive, it would be effective.
Yeah, well, anyone could knock anybody down, that's for sure.
Zab is not that weak a puncher. He's not a big super puncher, but he punches pretty decent.
Yeah, he's a doubles and triples hitter. He's not a home run hitter.
No. But when you're tired like this, in both guys' case, sometimes an easy punch can do a lot of damage.
Cotto's not a home run hitter either. But when you pile up enough doubles and triples, you score a lot. Back into the southpaw stance. Back into the full-scale assault for Miguel Cotto in the 10th round. Judah with a hard, whipping right hook.
Judah is literally fighting for his professional life in this fight.
And showing more battle than he's shown in many of his performances, Larry.
Absolutely.
He's got a lot of credibility he regained tonight in this fight, win or lose.
Break. Zab, come on.
carry out into the street,
Keep it clean, Jeff.
regardless of the outcome of the fight. And you suspect
Step back.
if Cotto wins
Watch
this
the
thing,
head, Jab, leaning in.
Judah and his followers will point to the two low blows early and say, what would have happened if he didn't fire
Left
those low
uppercut
blows?
again. He didn't see it.
Just won't take no for an answer.
Judah is saying, I've got a heart, and he has certainly showed it.
The courage of Zab Judah to keep fighting amid the deluge. How about the courage of Miguel Cotto to maintain his composure and keep gunning with blood flowing profusely from a cut lip since very early in the fight?
Jim, you must exactly what's reading my mind. That's what I was thinking about. He's been so cool amid all of the pain that he's going through. He's never changed his expression.
Down on the right hand is Judah.
And
Second knockdown for Cotto.
An inside right hand, short punch.